See, what y'all don't know, or y'all must have forgot, like Roy Jones, is I got videos with major heavy hitters, you heard? Tony Yayo, you heard? Conway, I'm sorry. Westside Gun, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear nothing else about it, you heard? Watch my video with Jada Kiss, Swag on Pluto, Fire, MTV Action was on that, you heard? Watch my video with Jim Jones. MTV Action was on that. Y'all gotta do the history on the kid LAZ. You heard? If you need them rap collabs, get at me, bro. I got you for the low. Hear it? Yo, and make sure y'all go to genpop.store and get that merch. You heard? That's genpop.store. We got a little bit of everything. And for y'all dudes out there, that's my size, but be wanting a 5 and 6X, bro. This ain't a Cash Money Records video shoot. You heard? It's 2022. You heard? Slim that up, bruh.
I caught a body, right? And I had an 18B lawyer, right? And the came in and told me, the first time I met him, he told me, he said, sit tight. Sit tight, your life is not over. I can get you 8 or 9 years, you'll be home soon, you know, so forth and so on. I told my family I'm not talking to him no more. So they kept adjourning my case. I was going to court every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, like that. So that's how I wound up in the Manhattan pen. I retained the lawyer. My family retained the lawyer. My cousin's girlfriend introduced us to a lawyer that would become like a good family friend. He kept me out of a lot of trouble. He kept me from going to prison, basically. You know what I'm saying? But he did an attorney visit in Manhattan because his office was in Manhattan. And I wound up in the Manhattan pen. And I'm telling the police, nah, I go to Brooklyn court. I don't go to Manhattan court. It was this little Puerto Rican CEO, a Conte, with big ears. He used to smoke cigars and shit, right? And he explained to me that my lawyer is over there. That's what it's looking like on my card. Anyway, I'm in the Manhattan pen, right? And the first thing when I get in the pen, it's this white boy in there. They beating the shit out this white boy all fucking day. MC Hammer, right?
That was the white boy name, MC Hammer?
They called the white boy MC Hammer. He beat his mother and father to death with a hammer. So, am I getting too far ahead?
Nah, we flowing.
Okay, so this guy, the police letting niggas have their way with this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So it's one guy from Brooklyn in there. He going to court and he got a case in Manhattan. I know him from around the way. I don't know him like that, but I know his face and I know some of his people. Lil Bucktooth, I forgot his name. Anyway, this nigga named Uptown, a wild monkey ass motherfucker, comes in the pen, right? He's setting the whole movie. He's setting the whole play up, right? He's telling this nigga, rob that nigga. Yo, what you doing, right? What this nigga doing? What these motherfuckers scared of him, right? So, we get on the bus. Me and him start talking or whatever. We in the pens. He asking me what house I came from, and you know what I'm saying? He's asking me who got the phone over there, and you know, I'm stressed out about my case. I'm not even, you understand?
Yeah.
I'm not even there. But he's asking me, you know, what house, who's running. I was in Mar 2. They put me in Mar 2, this West Indian police, Eastwood. Didn't like me. He sent me down there to Mar 2. That shit was like a rat hole. The ceiling was leaking. Niggas had been sitting down there waiting for the bus to go up north. Niggas was on, you know, them niggas that been in the building almost 24 months. It was terrible down there. You know what I'm saying? But it was a Brooklyn mob in there. A lot of guys that I grew up was in there. You know what I'm saying? So I was fairly comfortable in there. Anyway, we get to the we get on the bus. We get to Manhattan. We get to the Manhattan court. We're in the Manhattan pen. This nigga is rocking me to sleep the whole day, right? Talking to me the whole time, right? He asked me is Black Troy. This nigga from around the way, Black Troy, he's from up on Gates and Stuyvesant, Quincy and Stuyvesant, up from that area, right? I went to school up there a little while. Anyway, I knew him from there. He running the back of the house. Let's say it was a bunch of chillers in that house, but he had his shit on smash. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm back there with them or whatever. He's asking me about this nigga. This nigga Uptown is asking me about Black Troy, right? Anyway, we get ready to go on the go back. We on the go back now, right? I went and saw my lawyer. I got introduced to my lawyer or whatever. We on the go back. They cuffed me to this nigga. I don't want to give him no shine because he's a pussy ass nigga to me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'ma just call him Al. All right? So.
Where was the kid from?
He had cases in Manhattan, but he might have been from Staten Island. But he had cases in Manhattan, and he had been in the building a long time. Everybody knew him. You know what I'm saying? A little skinny, light-skinned motherfucker, right? But anyway, they cuffed me to him, right? That was my inexperience, letting them cuff me like that cuff my right arm to a nigga that I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I get on the bus, right? As soon as they cuff me, they cuff Uptown. He told the police don't cuff him to nobody, right? So he's cuffed in front. I'm cuffed. There's a bunch of us. We get on the bus. These niggas is screaming. These niggas start screaming Polo Grounds. They start singing these 6-minute Dougie Fresh Harlem World songs. You know what I'm saying? They having a party, a Manhattan party on the bus, right? So,
you said they was screaming out Polo Grounds?
Polo Grounds. They screaming out Polo Grounds, all of them. There was maybe 7 of them. They probably was from the same project, Polo Grounds. I'm a Brooklyn nigga. I don't know nothing about Uptown at that time. Only thing I know from Uptown is going to the Parliament. We used to go to 125th and go to the Harriet Tubman School and go to the rallies and shit. We used to take the A train up there, a bunch of guards or whatever. But anyway, they screaming the Polo Grounds or whatever. I'm not really affected because to me, a Brooklyn nigga, we ain't scared of no motherfucking Manhattan niggas. You know what I'm saying? That's the way our mindset was back then. You know, young kids. Anyway, he switched seats with somebody. They pop on the little dude from Brooklyn in the back of the bus. I turn around, they back there tearing this nigga ass up. You know what I'm saying?
Which dude? Kid you knew from the town?
Yeah, the little bucktooth dude. From they back there busting his ass. Right? Now I'm nervous. Right? I'm like, this nigga Uptown switch seats with the nigga across from me and none, right? He tells me, you know I'ma understand that shit, right? I'm like, nigga, what's up? He said, I'ma understand that shit. You know Troy violated, right? He told me, you know Black Troy violated me, right? I'm like, look, man, get the fuck on with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Right? The nigga, grabbed the seat, grabbed the bench, grabbed my right arm down. I tried to stand up, and the nigga grabbed the bench so I couldn't snatch my right arm away, and this nigga pulled some shit out and cut me, right? start swinging, popping on me. I'm trying to block with my left hand, right? And he's stabbing me with some shit. It wasn't a razor. It wasn't sharp. It was like a broken pen or some shit, a broken ink pen or some shit. He's stabbing the shit out of me, breaking whatever he had, breaking that shit off on me. These niggas screaming, uptown, uptown, get that Brooklyn ass nigga, fuck that Brooklyn ass nigga, right? So the whole bus is popping on me like a bunch of wild hyenas. You know what I'm saying? I got this motherfucker, L, the nigga handcuffed to me. I'm smashing his face. My focus is on him. I'm smashing this nigga face into the fucking window. I'm bashing this nigga, right? But they bashing me. Somebody hit me in the back of my head with something sharp. That cut me, fucked me up, right? But anyway, they jumping off on me. The motherfucking police screaming, what the hell going on back there? You know how that shit is.
Mm-hmm.
When you back there in that gate, they ain't coming back there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fighting these motherfuckers off for whatever.
But for those who don't understand, who never been on Rikers Island, we gotta let people know, when you on the bus, you behind a cage. Like you not back there with the police. The police is in a separate section of the bus behind the cage. You locked behind the cage and you shackled down to the next dude. You heard? So
That's right.
So it's not like the police could just reach over there and help you out. They not even in the same section with you. You heard? You on your own in there.
You on your motherfucking own. You on your own, and you gotta hold it down. You better not cry out or scream out or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
You learn that shit when from jailing. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, just like that police is in the front of the bus and you in the back, your whole bid is like that. The police there to keep you in jail. They not there to protect you. So you have to understand that, and you have to comprehend that, immediately. And you cannot let nothing slide. So
you said, so you smashing the kid, the Staten Island kid, you smashing his head against the side of the bus?
I'm smashing this nigga. I'm trying to pull his motherfucker eyes out and everything. Because they on me. You understand? And my adrenaline is going. I'm turned up. They on me. I'm cuffed. I'm twisting this motherfucker. I'm twisting his wrist. He twisting my wrist. He's struggling over there. He trying to fight back, but he's a pussy nigga. He was light in the ass, and he was just a doja for that nigga. You know what I'm saying? This nigga had a hold on everybody in the bus. I believe he had got ran out of so many houses that he was in Adam Sag. I believe Adam Sag was at that time was too low or too upper. One of those, right? And I believe the other kid, the white boy, might have been there too, but they put him in the pen right before. They put him in the pen and on the bus with us right before, an hour or so before we left or whatever, because they was together. And anyway, these motherfuckers, they was going to work, and the whole time they was screaming Polo Grounds, Polo Grounds, Polo Grounds. You know how on the Biggie record they said Brooklyn style? Well, these niggas was singing Polo Grounds. They had songs and everything, right? But anyway, we finally get to the jail, right? So I don't want them, everybody sitting quiet when we put up to the jail, like none of that shit just didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? The police don't care long as he ain't got to write no report. You know what I'm saying? He asked me, was I alright? Was I gonna hold that down? Right? I told him I'm good. I said I'm good.
And you said you was cut? You was cut at this time?
I was cut, but like not with a razor. I was cut up. My face was like scratched up real bad. You understand? But I was leaking blood from the back of my head. whatever they hit me in the back of my head with, poked me real good. So I can feel blood. I just wiped the blood, you know, from behind my neck until I got in the pen. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want, anyway, at that time, I didn't want no attention on me. I didn't want people to know that just happened to me. You understand? So we get in the pen, we get in the Manhattan pen, they segregate this nigga right away. Uptown, right? They segregate this motherfucker away from me. I don't want to give him no shine. I really didn't want to say his name, but I'm trying to tell you the story. You know what I'm saying? I wound up eventually getting him, too. You understand? Later on, I really put in some work on his ass. You know what I'm saying? But, anyway.
You said they separated y'all, put him in a different pen?
They put him in a different pen. They put another in the pen. This nigga in the pen across from us. You know that pen directly across from the Manhattan pen? It's a little pen over there.
You talking about the 4 building?
In the 4 building.
You talking about that one single pen?
It's like a one single pen over there. They put him over there. The police didn't like him and shit like that. And he was a little beat up. He had marks and shit on his face, so they didn't put us in the same pen. You know what I'm saying? The police seen us back there fighting or whatever, right? So some of them other motherfuckers that was on the bus, I seen an older guard in the pen. This older guard named Supreme. He said, "What's going on?" He said, "Who did that to your face?" I said, "These niggas jumped me on the bus and shit." I'm telling them. He like, "Which ones?" He said, "Go over there and he said, represent in this motherfucker. Go over there and smack." I went over there. I was getting them one by one, beating shit out them niggas, sending them up, pulling them niggas' shirts over their head, and they was just doges. So I was fucking them up. One of them I fucked up good. You know what I'm saying? I think I kicked him in his face or kneed him. And his nose and shit was fucked up, and they was trying to get his nose to stop bleeding for a long time. This shit is crazy, ain't it? That's some animal shit going on, man. You know what I'm saying? I was 17. I think I just turned 18. I just turned 18 at that time. But anyway, I'm getting them. We go back to the house. I get back to my house or whatever. I'm telling these niggas screaming Uptown all night. They screaming Polo Grounds. They putting it, you know. Anyway, they letting their name be known.
What you talking about? You talking about in the pen or?
In the pens. This nigga is across from us talking shit. The nigga L, he across, he over there talking shit. These niggas, they talking shit or whatever. But I did what I did, and I'm quiet now. You know what I'm saying? I get back to the house. These niggas like, yo, I'm like, y'all know this nigga Uptown? They like, yeah, we smashed him. We send him out of here. And he was a wild little monkey motherfucker with a beard and a mustache and shit. He was a little kid.
He was a short dude?
Short dude.
So you said when you went back to the house, niggas told you, yo, we ran son up out of here?
Yeah. It was like we ran that nigga out of here. He tried to do this, he tried to do that. I had a nigga in there with me that I knew from Far Rockaway. You know what I'm saying? I knew because my family lived in Redfern, and he was in there. We was talking about him one week. The next few months, I'm in there with him. You know what I'm saying? On the same kind of case he got. So anyway, he told me, he was like, "Listen, Wise," he said, "you can't be." He explained to me. He said, "You can't be telling me, talking to these niggas, small talking with these niggas. You let that nigga rock you to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Now you're gonna have to get that motherfucker, because you gotta be in this jail." He was like, "Wise, you're going in the mountains with me. You know what I'm saying? You're going in the mountains, man. You gotta represent. I'm depressed. I'm stressed. You know what I'm saying? On my case. So I had to get my mind, you understand, together. I had to get going to gladiator mode. I had to start eating and working out and getting ready for battle. You understand? I later got this nigga. I'm not going to go into that because that's a whole nother story. You understand? Unless you want me to.
How long was it after the incident happened on the bus where the Polo Ground dudes jumped you? How long was it after? How long did you have to wait to actually bump into this Uptown kid the correct way?
It was about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months later. I had not bumped into him for a long time. And then when I seen him, it was on. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I was in that building waiting. I had no bail. I had no bail. They wouldn't give me a bail. My whole goal at that time was to get a bail. I was getting my mind together. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting and balancing the facts and circumstances to find my own truth. You know what I mean? I was seeing things the way they really are, not the way they present themselves to be, right? I found out that 2 guys that I grew up with was telling on me. So I was very disturbed by that. I'm getting my weight up though. I'm eating. I'm going through the motions. I'm getting adjusted to the jail. Now I got a little Brooklyn crew I'm running with, you know what I'm saying? I got my man Inch from the Ville, Troy and Shy and West Fourth. We all together, you know what I'm saying? But there was in Mod 2. And we had like beef with Mod 4 when they used to try to walk by our house in the hall, we would jump off on them. We had some wild fights, like big fights and shit where people got their shit cracked the fuck open. You know what I'm saying? In the hallway. You know what I'm saying? And I remember hearing the turtles coming down the hallway. You can hear them thundering, coming to get us. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I had this guy, Eric Thrower, with me. He had a case that was all over the newspaper. I used to go to the law library with him. We had similar cases and shit like that. So, you know, I was getting acclimated, trying to get my case together and trying not to catch another body while I was in there. You know what I'm saying? That was a full-time job. And I was saying, with my fucking luck, I'll catch another body in here. Because when I turn up, you know, when that anger and shit building, you sitting in jail and your family had a brand new baby daughter at the time. But anyway, you know, I runs into my man D, right? D was from around the way. Me and D went to school together. Me and D's family started like coming up on visits at the same time. So I would see him all the time on my visits. And me and him would talk. He had been up north and had been implicated in 2 more cases. He was up on a 10th body and they were implicating him on some other shit. So he was back down on the alley. You know what I'm saying? He was a live wire and he loved to smoke. And he loved the drama, right? He's one of them motherfuckers that his eyes running. He's just a wild, weird sociopath. But me and him had went to school together, so we were close. We had A to L visits at that time. So we both went on a visit together or whatever. And I told him about what happened to me on the bus. He thought the shit was funny. Used to laugh and giggle. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you let the niggas do you like that and this and that, right? So, me, him, and his man was sitting on a visit one day, politicking or whatever, and this nigga Uptown pops up, right? I hear him, I'm like, yo, that's the nigga. He fell out laughing. He was like, I got an ox in my clothes box. You know, you got to change it. We used to have to change into gray jumpsuits to go on the dance floor at that time. You know what I'm saying? Then we would change back until our clothes. We was wearing regular clothes at that time. I don't know if they still wear.
Nah. They deaded the regular clothes stuff, but when I was there, it still was regular street clothes too. That's why the island was so fucking wild.
That's right, niggas was getting tore up for them starter jackets, and the suede felines was out, and the New Balance. Niggas was getting the shit beat out of them for them New Balance. And them starter jackets, forget it. Forget it. If you came through with one of them, you just ought to give it up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, this nigga Uptown pops up on the visit. And my man like, yo, I got an ox in my clothes box. I'm gonna go back and get the ox out my clothes back. I'm like, I don't want no fucking razor, D. You know that. You know I don't like them razors, right? So, the nigga was like, wait for me. Because they was going to call him first for his visit. He's like, wait for me. I don't think the nigga Uptown recognized me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't recognize me at first. In fact, he said, what's up to D-Man? So, we going to tear his ass up today. Right? So, he go on his visit. I go on my visit. I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck my visit up. My baby girl and my wife now was, you know, they traveled and sick all that time. I'm like, I'm not gonna fuck the visit up, you know. So I'm gonna get him when he comes back in here, right? This nigga D is giggling like the whole time. He loved to smoke, right? So anyway, he take his visit, I do my visit, and then Uptown went on the dance floor, right? So we get back, I change into my clothes or whatever. He tells me, he says, yo, I got something for you in the laundry box. That laundry cart that you throw your jump in.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I got something for you in there. I said, I told you I don't want no razor, right? The nigga said, nah, my man blessed you. My man blessed you. So I take my jumpsuit, throw it in the box, and I reach down, and then it's a long ass sharp piece of plexiglass, nice with some duct tape around. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So I'm like, he said, you like that? I said, yeah, I like that. I like this. I slid it up my sleeve. I slid the joint up my sleeve or whatever, and we waiting on Uptown. It's looking like we're gonna get caught on the camera. So we're gonna be back there anyway. He's still on the dance floor. So when we get back, he's a loud motherfucker. You always could hear him coming. You could hear him coming before he was there. I was like, here he come. Here he come. Right? So my man D, he's ready. He's still laughing and giggling. He's one of them niggas like right before he go into action, he stick his tongue out like Jordan. The nigga stick his tongue on one side of his mouth like Jordan. He go into action, right? So the nigga Uptown comes off the business, grabs his box and he's trying to get dressed, right? So I'm sitting there, the nigga, me and his eyes meet. I think he recognized me now, right? And he got some little Doja nigga with him. He's talking to me, talking loud and shit, right? So anyway, the nigga grabs his clothes box to get ready to try to change. And as soon as he sat down, I popped on him. I jumped up and stepped on his foot so he couldn't run, right? And I step on his foot, I grab his fucking jumpsuit and wrap it in my hand, right? And I start giving it to him. Giving it to his ass, right? The first one hit him in his cheek. I could feel the shit hit his bone, right? I hit him in his head a few times, tearing him up, right? I try to get him up under his arm, right? He's wrapping my arm around, he's wrapping his arm around my arm. My man D jumped up and backed this man down and pulled the nigga down, right? We hear the CO, it's the Delts in there with us too. So they moving out the way. Letting us shake. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So I'm trying to get the nigga under his arm. He wrapped my arm. My man D pull him down on the floor. I get him like 2 more times and the cops come. CO come, right? He takes the joint out my hand, sit down like he wasn't involved, and the police grabbed me and wash me right there, kicked me all in my ribs, kicked me all in my face and my head and shit. And this nigga, the whole time he took uptown, he's like, okay. So
you said that's what he was saying while you was stabbing him?
Yeah, okay.
Like on some, you got me, nigga, I'ma get you?
Yeah. Okay, now he's saying, okay, man, okay, like that's enough. That's enough, right? I'm banging him, but I'm saying in my mind, I'm gonna kill this nigga if I don't stop. And then the police, they came to wash me. They washed me and dragged me. His face was bust. Where I hit him in the cheek, it was fucked up right there. In fact, when they wrote me up, they didn't write me for the weapon. They wrote me for a fight. But he was bust up. I got him good. His cheek was fucked up. I think I broke his cheekbone. And I got him in his rib real good. You know what I'm saying? But he held it down. I guess he didn't tell what happened, right? But I saw him like 1 or 2 times after that, but he didn't want no smoke, and my man D was so notorious, right? The motherfucker ain't want no smoke like that. He was looking up at D, right? Like, you gonna cut me too? You know what I'm saying?
After you caught son, you went to the Bing for that, or they put you back in the regular dorm and then you went to the Bing?
They put me back in the regular dorm. And it was just a fight, and I wound up getting a ticket. I wound up getting 10 days. And they never came and got me. I wound up bailing out. I got bailed out. My mom, I got a bail. They put the deed to the house up in $10,000 and got me out. So I wound up when I turned the devil, I had to go back on that case. On the CPW, they smacked me. You know what I'm saying? So I wound up back on Rikers Island, but on a sentence case. They sentenced me on that case for the gun. I was acquitted for the homicide, but not for the gun. That's how that went. And I wound up back on that same indictment. The DA kept smacking me on that indictment. In fact, the guys that took the stand on me, the DA put one of them on the island with me, in my house. One of the guys that turned state witness on me, they put him in my house. Not only did they put him in my jail, they put him in my house. The DA hated him. See, you got these guys, they take the stand, right? But they have records. This guy had an open rape. He had all of these open cases. So, in order to get term cuts, he took the stand on me. But I got acquitted. And he folded on the stand. He didn't want to give up the information in my face. Eye to eye, couldn't give the information up. He was, he was broken. I was sitting there every day, right? And I was on the street. So you can't fight these cases from the inside. They know you're going to take a plea bargain, right? But I was on the street. I was seeing these guys every day. And I had to beg motherfuckers not to kill them. Instead of trying to hit them, I was trying to protect them. Because I knew it was going to come back on me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that's the gist of that. That's what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? I wind up, going to trial on that case and coming home. A lot of those guys that were with me went up north.
Mm.
So, that's the gist of that. That one right there. When he backed up, I jumped and I shot him right there. I shot him. When I shot him, he hit the floor. Peace. I want to tell a testimonial story about kids with guns, right? But before I start, I want to shout murder out. I want to salute my brother, right? And may he rest in divine harmony. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're going to get to the story. Boom, one night, it was in the fall, in the beginning of fall, one night we was all standing outside doing what we do, right? And a car came through our block, right? Shooting everywhere. Bullets was whizzing by everybody. And we all got down. Some of us made it to my door. We all wound up running in the house, like 8 of us.
Now, what year was this? What year was this?
This was 89.
All right.
So we running in the house. I grabbed my joint. Some of the other brothers grabbed guard you nows, grab guns, and we go outside to see who is that shooting at us like that, right? Well, come to find out, they was chasing 3 young guys from the neighborhood. One of them was a new guy that lived on our block. They had been robbing people. You know what I'm saying? They had been running up on people with this big samurai sword, robbing them, right? So someone chased them down and shot our whole block up. Shot at everybody that they saw. So we're going, at this time I didn't know what was going on. I just went to see who was shooting. We wanted to see who was shooting at us like that. So we were all strapped up. And when I got to the corner, this is the corner of Vernon and Tompkins. When I got to the corner, we didn't see anybody, but we see these 3 young kids. I know 2 of them, but the other guy I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? But he was with them, and my cousin started questioning them like, what's going on? And one of them started telling like they shooting at us. These guys are shooting at us. And when we got into it, when he got into why they were shooting at him, they told us that the kid had been robbing people. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say with what or how. They was just robbing people in the neighborhood, right? I didn't know this kid, but I knew the other 2 kids from the neighborhood, right? Anyway, they had some words exchanged or whatever, right? I got my hand on my gun, cocked, ready. It's in my pocket though, because somebody had been shooting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm ready. I'm looking around. I'm not paying them any attention. So when I turned and looked at the kid and went to go get closer to him. Him and my cousin was having words. When I got over there, I was like, listen, Shorty, you can't do that shit over here. You can't be robbing people on this block. He backed up a little bit. My cousin pressed up on him a little. He backed up and pulled a samurai sword out. Backed it out like he was going to slice my head off. You know what I'm saying? When he backed up, I jumped and I shot him right there. I shot him. When I shot him, he hit the floor. He hit the floor immediately, but there was no blood. So I didn't even know if I really hit him like that. Then I looked and he had a hole in his side.
He had the sword out already, or he had the
sword up like he was getting ready to chop our heads off. He had the sword jacked back. You know what I'm saying? I flipped. It was almost like a reaction when I shot. Now, at this time, it was a lot of gunplay in the neighborhood, and I wasn't new to pressing up and giving it to a nigga. You know what I'm saying? But this was something where people was walking by. It was a lot of people outside. This was something that I would have never have done. And I'm going to say this, that me talking about the sword, I don't want to be disrespectful, and I'm not glorifying it, and I don't want to show any disrespect to this guy or his family, because it was something quick that happened. We were both young and wild, and I'm really, sorry the situation happened. It affected my life tremendously. You know what I'm saying? It really turned my life around, where I'm still feeling the remnants of that now. But anyway, he jacked the sword up. He was going to cut my cousin. I believe he was going to, I don't know for sure, but he jacked the knife up. He was mad. He was mad, and he jacked the knife back like he was going to cut my cousin. I always questioned myself, should I have told him to put the sword down? You know what I'm saying? But when I seen it, he pulled it back, and I let off. I was going to give him another one, right? But he hit the floor so hard, I didn't know whether he was faking or what was going on. Anyway, I looked down at him, and we cleaned the scene up. We cleaned the whole corner up. We hid him, which we shouldn't have. While people were walking by, some people heard the shot and they was looking, but we took the sword out of his hand and handed it off to somebody. That was my first mistake. Secondly, there was a housing police at that time. They were still housing cops. They were housing police. Police must have heard the shots and was coming down the block. I walked right by him with the gun in my hand. He asked me what's going on. I said, I think somebody had a seizure down there. You know what I'm saying? So I make it to the rest or whatever, and they come back and tell me that the kid, he's gone, he died. You know what I'm saying? So now I run a little while. I run, I go to family house. I even stayed in Brownsville a little while. You know what I'm saying? But I went up to a bunch of different places trying to run. And finally, when I thought the heat was off, I came back. You know what I'm saying? Around the way. As soon as I touched down, right? I was with this guy that, he was hot. He was selling drugs or whatever right on the corner. So when they came and grabbed him, they grabbed me too. But they let me go. So they were looking for me then, but they didn't know how I looked. You know what I'm saying? They grabbed him. When they got him to the precinct, he told them that was him right there that you grabbed. You know what I'm saying? So they came back and staked the block out. They staked the block out, and while I was trying to tell one of the guards, one of my brother, who I thought was telling on me and who was there, they grabbed me the homicide grabbed me. They took me to the precinct and they started interrogating me. They interrogated me almost 15 hours, right? But at the end of the day, what I didn't know is that they knew what had happened. They knew the whole story, but they wanted to twist it and make this fake motive and fake narrative that me and the guy had a beef over drugs. You know what I'm saying? So they interrogated me, Sergeant Anthony Renzini, and I remember his name because I filed a complaint against him. This was around the time when Central Park was the Central Park 5 was on trial. Yusuf Hawkins had got killed at this time, around this time. At least when I was going to court for that case, his court was his trial was in court. Anyway, they interrogated me, and this officer, Sergeant Renzini, was smacking me across my face. He handcuffed me and took me to a stairwell in the precinct and told me he was going to kick me down the stairs if I didn't stop lying. You know what I'm saying? They did everything to me. But, you know, they didn't really want to put no marks or bruises on me. So it was one cop that played good cop. It was another cop, Officer Renzini, that played bad cop. And he really hated black people. He called me every nigger you could think of. He choked me. He did, you know, he tried to put fear in me enough that I would tell, but I wasn't raised to tell. But what I did do was put myself on the scene. I didn't tell what happened, and I gave a statement, but it was a total lie. You know what I'm saying? Which I know now that you don't give a statement, you just ask for a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? But I gave this guy a statement. I said that I walked by and I saw the ambulance. I saw the guy laying there and that he was alive. They asked me how I know he was alive. I said I saw the fog coming out of his mouth. He was breathing, right? That was enough for them to indict me. I didn't know that. But you cannot put yourself on the scene of a crime. If you put yourself on the scene of a homicide, then you're indictable. The grand jury process, there is no defense attorney. The defense attorney cannot even speak in the grand jury process. It's solely made to for probable cause. It's solely made for the district attorney to bring probable cause to go forward with your case. Well, anyway, they interrogated me. They took me down to central booking, and because this is the way they justified bringing me back to the precinct. They said that it was so crowded that we would have to sleep in the car. So they took me back to the precinct and interrogated me for like 8 more hours. You understand? So now they're trying to put a motive in my mouth, a motive in my hand, or whatever. Fast forward, the 2 guys that were there with this guy with the samurai sword, I didn't know the guy with the samurai sword, but he had moved in an apartment on my block. But I didn't know him. He was brand new. And I guess he was trying to impress, the other guys in the neighborhood, how wild and crazy he could be. But he wound up running into me.
And
you know what I'm saying?
How old was you again at this time?
I was 18.
And he was like what?
He was 18. He was 18. You know what I'm saying? And the 2 guys that was with him were a little bit younger, maybe a year younger than us. I'm going to give you one of the guys' names, but the other guy I feel bad about. But there was a guy that was with him named, he was a car thief. He was a guy that I really didn't like. I never liked sneaky motherfuckers that climb in people's cars and shit like that. He wasn't on drugs or nothing. He was just a little thief. And I later found out that he was a informant. He was a rat, and he had rape cases and all type of shit on his record. Furthermore, right now, he's on Facebook mean drilling and pump faking like he's a real motherfucker, and he's a rapist, snitch, a rat bastard. The other guy I'll call A. He was just a young brother that got caught in the mix. You know what I'm saying? And he tried to run. When we went on trial, he tried to run. He went away, ran to New Jersey, and the fugitive task force on the day he was supposed to testify brought him to the court building in handcuffs. So that's the way they railroaded him and threatened him to put him in jail and all type of, whatnot. But anyway, this guy lied for them. But what he did do, because I was out on the street and I was able to make bail, he was spying on me for the DA, right? And I had to keep these guys alive, But it looked, in most cases, brothers will be trying to get rid of their witness, but I was too smart for that. I knew that they were waiting for me to harm one of them. In fact, I made sure nobody looked at them hard. For 2 years, I was on the street. For almost a year and a half, I was on the street before I went to trial. And I had to keep these guys alive. Instead of letting them get killed so they wouldn't testify on me, I wound up having to keep these two guys alive because they were waiting, they were baiting me. I would see them with detectives. This guy would walk and pass my house while the trial was going on. He would stand in front of my house. As soon as I would have threatened him, they would have put me back in jail. So what I did was I rocked him to sleep and made him think that I understood that he really wasn't a snitch and that he was forced into this situation, right? He wound up giving me the kid's coat. The kid had a jacket, and what was significant about the coat is they switched coats so the kid could carry the sword because it had a belt on it. So, and then the hole in the coat showed the trajectory of the bullet. So it showed that his arms was raised in a swinging motion, right? So they gave him back the coat and told him to get rid of it. He told me. And then I told my lawyer what was going on. My lawyer, Frank Gould, who I owe my freedom to. He passed recently, may he rest in peace. But he told me to see if I can get the coat. Don't put myself in harm's way, but see if I can get the coat. The kid gave the coat up and made me promise that I wouldn't let anybody hurt him. People was threatening him and telling them, what I didn't know then is that he was a snitch on more cases than just mine. So he wanted me to validate him as being a solid guy and a stand-up guy. So he gave me the coat. And during the trial, my lawyer asked the detectives, "Where's the coat at? Didn't he have a coat on? Where's it at?" The detectives lied and said they had the coat and property when we had it. So my lawyer would put each detective on the stand and ask them about the coat over and over. And over and over they lied about the coat in front of a jury. Also, what was significant in this case is that I had, when you're young and, you have a lot of selfish thoughts and selfish things going on in your mind. What what brought my attention and my consciousness to how harmful I was hurting my family. There was a day during discovery where my lawyer said, we're not going to do anything tomorrow but pick the jury. Everybody don't have to come, because my whole family would come to court with me, right? This lawyer, Franklin Gould, he was a genius, right? But when you're doing cases, trial cases and murder cases, it makes you a little indifferent and callous, right? So on this one particular day, he told my family they didn't have to come, and no one came but my mom. So when you're picking a jury, you're picking from a jury pool of like 100 people, right? The courtroom full, my mom was sitting in the courtroom behind me, and 100 jurors came in the courtroom and sat behind and in front of and on the side of my mother, whispering and talking and looking at me and pointing at me, while my mom sat amongst them, and they didn't know that that was my mother. And I turned around and looked at my mother. Even now, it kind of, you understand? But it touches me even now. I turned around and looked at my mother, and she was sitting there trying to hold a straight face while she was in this room with 100 people pointing and talking and gossiping and saying things about me, while the jury while my lawyer and the DA explained what the case was about. And it made me understand the effect and the trauma it brought to my mother. You understand? But that made me understand the seriousness of it, because when you're young, you don't understand the full gravity and seriousness of your actions sometimes. Although I was justified in the homicide, and I was justified in front of the court, right? I wasn't justified because when you hear shots, you're supposed to stay in the fucking house. You know what I'm saying? And I chose to grab a gun and go outside. And that's why all of this happened. And I know that. You know what I'm saying? But I was young and I was stupid. Well, anyway, back to this guy and A, right? A, I know his whole family. I spoke to his family. I told his brothers, do you know your brother is testifying on me? Do you know your brother made statements against me? I'm showing his brother's paperwork. They're surprised, like, what? You know, what do we need to do? I said, you need to get him from out of New York. Send him away. You know what I'm saying? My lawyer gave me the videotape and the audio tape statements that they made against me. You understand? And it was very negative, and none of it was the truth of what happened. Then there were anonymous phone calls from people that walked by and people that witnessed the crime and people that seen me walk away. You understand? But to tell you how corrupt and callous and defunct our justice system is, they put on the stand. My lawyer not only twisted all his words and made him tell that we had the gun, that we had the coat that the guy wear and why they switched coats. My lawyer also made reasonable doubt because he got to say that he had a gun in his pocket. You understand? So when he questioned him, he said, did you have a gun? So he told the jury, how do we know he didn't do it? You know, there were other people shooting that night. How do we know that he wasn't shot already? Right? So I had reasonable doubt. He told me My lawyer told me that I didn't even have to say I did it because he already proved reasonable doubt. But because the kid's family and everybody, my family, everybody knew what happened, I wouldn't do that. I still had a certain amount of integrity. And I told them what happened. Everybody told me, don't take the stand. Don't never be a witness in your own trial. Never take the stand because you're opening yourself to cross-examination, right? So I had a decision to make as a young male. You understand? And I made the decision to tell the story. And as I told the story, I looked his mother in the face. His mother and his sister came to trial every day. I looked his mother and his sister in the face, and I told the story. I told what happened, and the DA tried to rattle me, and he laughed at me. He asked me, how do I feel about what happened? I said, I feel terrible. And he bust out laughing in front of the court. Anyway, did such a terrible job that when they sentenced me on the gun, they acquitted me of the homicide, but they sentenced me on the gun. They gave me a year and 5 years probation. At that time, that's what you would get for criminal possession of a firearm in New York. I think now it's 3 years, but at that time you can get city time for weapon. So they gave me a year on the island. They put in my house. The DA had moved to my housing area, right? So now I'm in a position where they're trying to make me kill this guy or harm this guy again. You know what I'm saying? Because they're all telling the district attorney and the detectives that I'm no angel, that I have shot people before. And when they tried to get other people to witness against me, they wouldn't speak against me unless they were put in witness protection. So they were telling all of this to the court, and he was telling the detectives and the DA that he was scared of me, that he feared me. He did so terrible, and he folded and stumbled so bad in the court. The district attorney, my lawyer got him to say that, to confess to another crime on the stand. He had broken to this woman's house and was chasing her around with the gun when the landlord came in and caught him. You know what I'm saying? So my lawyer got him to confess to that crime on the stand. The district attorney, when I got sentenced and I got housed on Rikers Island, the district attorney put him in my housing area, in my house with me, and gave me paperwork on everything he had done and tried to set me up to kill this guy again. What I did was kept him alive again while he was in my housing area, and I had him sent to the other side. I was on the B side. I opened the Sprungs. When those Sprungs first started on Rikers Island, I was in one of the first ones. They had high impact, like the shock program over there in the Sprungs, and then they had regular general population guys over there in the Sprungs because that building was busting at the seams with people, right? Anyway, they brought him down there, and I showed the police my paperwork and told them that they trying to make us kill him. You know what I'm saying? A cool Spanish officer just told me, move him. He said, and we're going to light his ass up. The police told me we're going to light his ass up on the other side. And that's what they did. They moved him. There was some guys from the next block from me over there on that side. They knew he was an informant also because he had told on somebody else in the neighborhood, and they got him over there and lit his ass up. You know what I'm saying? And ran him out the house. You know what I'm saying? I think, if I recall, he got stabbed in his ear real bad, like in his eardrum. You know what I'm saying? And I had nothing to do with it. They couldn't put it on me. And that's how that went. But I feel bad about the other guy that he was put in a situation like that for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I also want to say that this system is corrupt at its core. The justice system in New York is corrupt at its core. The prisons are filled with innocent people or people that were in incidents just like mine, and they got 25 to life. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened that we were able to retain a good lawyer. Had we not had that lawyer, like I told you previously, the lawyer told me he could get me a deal for 8 or 9 years to sit tight. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times people are scared to go to trial because of, you know, the time they're facing. But you have to learn the law and you have to know the law. I'm not saying I was an angel after this incident. It just made me worse. This incident made me worse as far as gunplay and as far as being in the street. If I was threatened, or if someone I thought was a threat to me, I went on ahead and did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't wait or you know, wait to see what your move was, and I wasn't no shoot 1,000 times guy. I was a 1 or 2 shot guy. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully I won't have to do that again. But I'm so distant and far from that life that it's hard for me to tell these stories now. But I need to, because they're therapy for me. And I appreciate you, Laz. I appreciate you for inspiring me to tell these stories. And also Murder inspired me to tell these stories. And Saquon inspired me to tell these stories. But I want to put emphasis on the system and what it did to us. And at that time, the streets were corrupt. People could sell, you were able to sell drugs with impunity until jump out day, let's say. So the streets were full, and I had to defend my family and defend my sisters, and ultimately I became proficient with the gun, with firearms, you know, just to protect my family. You know what I'm saying? I lost a lot of brothers. I lost a lot of sisters too, to gun violence. And with that, I want to say peace to Murder again. I want to say love and blessings to his family, and he was an inspiration to me. You know what I'm saying? And may he rest in divine harmony. You know what defense that my lawyer used? The Bernard Getz defense. He cited that case to get me off, the Bernard Getz defense, because the law is if you can run, if you can leave, then it's not self-defense. So they cited Bernard Getz case. So that's, do you remember Bernard Getz case?
Yeah, where he shot the people on the train and all of that.
Yeah. He got the same sentence that I did, 1 year and 5 years probation. So my lawyer kept citing his case. He said that my lawyer explained to me that the difference between justice and injustice is money, is rich and poor, and they're not going to do that to you. That lawyer right there, yo, he's a different guy. He's a different kind of guy. And he was only like 4'9". He had to wear high heel shoes to, you know, when they call him to the bench. He couldn't see over the bench, so he wore these big high heel like boots, so he could see over the bench. And he taught me, he groomed me for trial, and he would put his hands on me and hug me, and he said, "I'm not gay." He would tell me, "I'm not gay, but these juries have to know that you're human, because they've been taught through the media that young black guys, young inner city guys are animals." So he said, "This is the reason I'm touching and rubbing you."
He used to do that. He used to do that in the courtroom, you mean?
In the courtroom while we were on trial.
That's
in front of the jury.
And he was an Italian dude?
No, a Jew.
Oh, he was Jewish?
Franklin Gould. He was Jewish, right? And his law firm was in the Woolworths building, 61 Broadway. 61 Broadway. His partner is down in D.C., but he was old man. He was an old man. He was an old man, and he kept asking me. He said, "Did you leave anything out?" And as the trial went on, me and him got to become friends. And while the jury was deliberating, he was crying. He said, because sometimes they will go the other way no matter what. He said, that's why I didn't want you to take the stand and say you did it. You know what I'm saying? And when they let me, when the jury came back not guilty, there was this white jury, a young girl on the jury. She was twisting her hair and rolling her eyes the whole time. And we were saying, she hates you. She's definitely gonna vote guilty. After the trial, she came, she brought me a hamburger, threw me a pack of gum, and hugged me and told me to go live your life. When I almost went, man, when I was speaking about my mother, I almost started crying. You understand? So it's as many years as that was ago, it still touches me. It still touches me, and it still reminds me that there are guys going through what I'm going through right now. You understand? It's guys like Murder that been in and out the system. The environment made us who we were. As soon as they wanted to stop crime in those neighborhoods, they did it. They did it. The house that I grew up in is on the market for $1.6 million. Look at 197 Vernon Avenue. That's the house I grew up in. That's the house I was born in. It's on the market for $1.6 million. We had to fight them Jamaicans off our block. We had to shoot, maim, and kill them motherfuckers to get them off. They came in droves selling crack, and they would not. You know how it is. You live in Brownsville. I ain't got to tell you. You know what I'm saying? It's real how the 80s was.
So you saying, see, a lot of people don't know anything about the New York 80s. Like, I've been hearing stories lately. Like, my man told me recently that it was the Jamaicans that was running Rikers Island at first in the early 80s, and
That's
dudes was going to war with the Jamaicans. That's
a fact. Do you remember your man did that story about the Jamaican war in Canarsie?
Yeah.
When he was talking about, do you know that the Jamaicans killed my man Born Master over there? You know what I'm saying? In Canarsie. There was a weed spot called Power.
Yeah, I remember.
You know about that spot?
Yeah, I used to cop from there.
Well, they was going to war over there because they took over the neighborhood. They took over my block. You know what I'm saying? And they came with heavy artillery, right? But the guards, we ran them motherfuckers from off our block. It was a guard from Sumner shot. He was very militant, and he had an arsenal. He was militant, like strict. He came up with Chaz in him. Came up under Matulu and Chaz and him, he was very militant. And he would come and, you know, the guards would roll, literally. Literally, we would have to roll. We would have to go to war. And the police a lot of times didn't even come. You know what I'm saying? So the place where my grandmother and my grandfather used to walk to the key food or walk to the store, they couldn't walk anymore. You understand? Because it was drug traffic. It was like the living dead. You know what I'm saying? It was that, literally. All the neighborhoods was ravaged, and they were doing it with impunity and with the police sanction. The police knew everybody that was selling drugs. They knew everything that was going on. And when they got ready to stop it, they stopped it. They doing ballet in the middle of my block now. You know what I'm saying? Facts. They got it's white people doing ballet in the middle of my block now. You know what I'm saying?
You saying in the 80s, in the early, what was that? The early 80s, where you said it just started, like you said, the Jamaicans just started moving into the style like crazy.
Jamaican, do you remember that they used to leave houses abandoned, right? Back then, those brownstones, they would, if they were left and they were unkept, they would just board them up. The Jamaicans would come and make a hole and make crack dens on every block. Shower Posse, all of them gangs like that, they were all in our neighborhoods with Uzis before we knew what Uzis were. You know what I'm saying? So we went to war with them first. We went to war. Part of the reason why I'm proficient is because we had to go to war with them first. And I love my heritage is mixed. You know what I'm saying? So I got everything in me. So I'm not being biased towards them, but that's what it was. That's what it was, man. And they were taking the girls that we grew up with and turning them into crackheads and all type of shit. Like New Jack City. You know what I'm saying? But only you living in this, you watching it every day. Then we also, I started with the Puerto Ricans from Lower East Side brought dope on our block. So we had to fight them too. I'm gonna say this, I made a lot of money with them though. You understand? I did a lot of work with them. But the Jamaicans was biased towards us, and they wouldn't really work with us. You understand? And they were disrespectful to our communities. You understand? They wouldn't care if your mother was walking by. They would tell your sister, suck their dicks, and all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So we had to really get it in with them. You know what I'm saying? It came deep, and look, because my family is mixed heritage, I had a lot of Jamaican friends, and they would tell me what's going on. They would tell me that's so and so. They had this thing that they used to do. They would call a guy to their car and blow their brains out. You understand? They would set up shop, and if they got in a beef, they would call like a little guy that's standing on the corner, or a guy that they know that's gonna hurt us. They would call him to the car and shoot him in their head. You know what I'm saying? So they had a lot of shit with them with that. You know what I mean? And then when I got in the jail, I started learning a whole bunch of how they was moving. A lot of guys they killed, like my man Born Master, they killed him, and I didn't know all how it went down, but I knew he was beefing with them like that. You know what I'm saying? The guards in particularly, because we wasn't going for it, and we was military. You understand? We wasn't going for it. We saved a lot of blocks. That's why you got the 18 and the Supreme Team and so forth, because we had to get together, to keep them out of a lot of our neighborhoods. guards. You know what I'm saying? And the guards was disgraceful too, I will say. You know what I'm saying? But that's what was going on. They were fighting us. You know what I'm saying?
You don't wanna blaze the heat, get Noxy, haze and street, razor blades, don't sleep, nigga. Cuffs on the kid wrist. A lot of niggas talk prison, but I live this.
Hey, yo, Gen Pop fam, what up? A lot of y'all dudes know me from the stories, but y'all don't know that I put in extreme work on the underground, you heard? And I'm about to release 500 of my top songs that I ever recorded, cause I put in Pac work in that booth, you heard? Real talk, and this is volume 1 right here, 100 St. Laz Essentials. I'm gonna drop 100 songs at a time, you heard? You're getting 100 of my songs per volume. That's a lot of music, bro. And I'm doing it like that because y'all need to catch up. For those who don't know and only know me from the YouTube stories, y'all need to catch up, you heard? Z-Man, Suicide Polo Ski-Man, walking around the hood like He-Man because he can't rest in peace to my nigga Murder. I love you, my nigga. Let's get it, Gen Pop.